Welcome back to the show. Bitcoin smashes $100,000 and still running. Swift, prepare for a deadline you don't want to miss. Shane Ellis theory in real time. And what tokens am I holding? We're getting into all of that. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.88 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 3%. Bitcoin 103,000 plus right now, up 7.7 on the 24-hour. You know I told you the pros and cons of this thing, and BlackRock's got exposure to it, Fidelity's got exposure to it, so does Bradley. And I'm glad to see it over 100,000 regardless of the pros and cons. Ethereum now 3,900. I just can't bring myself to hold it, though. That's the difference with that one. Tether right now, $135 billion plus market cap. We still don't know how the U.S. government feels about it. XRP retracing 6.9% in the 24-hour to $2.37. We'll hear from the technical analysts before we get out of here. We're still up 62.6 on the 7-day. Range of price between $2.18 and $2.59. So you can see XRP coming back up off the floor there. We know if we go below $2, that $1.92 from 21's high would be a support level if we go down below that any further. So anything goes down to there, I consider that normal. It's not financial advice, but that's just how I'm looking at it at the moment. Markets breathe, buyers and sellers, just like this. Bitcoin sat here for a long time trying to get through all those walls, those buy and sell walls to get to 100,000 plus, and that's exactly where it's at right now. And I'm super happy for everybody. But, you know, there is something coming that we are not talking about just yet, and it's utility. And I think we all know Bitcoin really doesn't have it to speak of in the manner that other protocols do out here. That doesn't stop me from holding it because there's only 21 million and people want to hold it. As long as they got ETFs for it, I'm going to hold it. Again, not financial advice, but that's the plan. It's the SHA-256 algorithm that runs the heart of Bitcoin, which is patented by the NSA, but the white paper says it's a libertarian movement, everyone. I'm an investor first. I'm holding it. I know what the risks are. Russian President Putin says, who can ban Bitcoin? Nobody. Listen.
Биткоин кто может запретить? Никто. А использование других электронных средств расчета кто может запретить? Никто, потому что это новые технологии. И чего бы ни было, чего бы ни происходило с долларом, эти инструменты так или иначе будут развиваться.
And these things will develop no matter what because everyone was trying to reduce the cost and increase reliability. You know, he's right. And it sounds a lot like what? Jay Clayton back in the day when he was still the SEC chair. If we don't embrace this technology, it will innovate around us. That's exactly what he said. Jay Clayton knew it. This is the truth. That's why governments put regulation and laws in place, because if they want, they could fine you or tax it out of existence. And in fact, to that point, we don't know where Bitcoin was created. Trump said he's going to do no crypto tax for U.S. crypto companies and crypto assets from the U.S. Well, if we don't figure out where Bitcoin's from and they don't really come out and tell us exactly who the 4 Satoshis are, and that it's an American-created company, then Bitcoin's going to be taxed according to the new administration and their plan. Think of it for a moment. But XRP won't be. This here's a look at Paul Atkins, our new SEC chairman. Shout out to DAI for this clip. I want you to hear a piece of this because he totally gets this. This is an older clip from July 23. He's going to lay down his insights so you understand this guy knows exactly what's going on in this space and understands that Ripple has a good case. Let me give you just the last piece of this so we can keep moving.
All judge-made rule. Sure, both sides think that they'll ultimately prevail. I do think that these sorts of questions, whether it be in Ripple or something else, will go up to the Supreme Court. And since this is all judge-made rules and by the Supreme Court itself, I think they're the appropriate ones, in the first instance here, since it's coming up to them, to try to clean up this mess. And then obviously Congress is there, but they're kind of dysfunctional. And so I don't really see anything immediately on the horizon. Maybe this will spur them as other judges try to, deal with applying, these sorts of tests to other cases. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. But I do think that, I think the Ripple folks here have a very strong case to, to push forward.
There's no question about it. He believed in the Ripple case. He understood that Ripple and the company didn't do anything wrong and that XRP is not a security. Question is now, will this be dropped when he becomes the SEC chair? Or will they pay the fine and the case is over? Or will Paul Atkins recognize the importance of this protocol and how it will be embedded into the financial system and require it to go to the Supreme Court to get the highest ruling in the land so it can never be challenged again? Or will it be a thing where they drop this thing because they've got the confidence with the new administration that they will get the legislation needed that it could never be challenged again from that regard? There's some things in front of us we need to pay attention to. Charles Gasparino says here, breaking, President Trump left no doubt that a lighter regulatory touch is coming for digital asset industry with his nomination of Paul Atkins, the SEC chair you just heard speaking. Now we see this. Perry Ann Boring, Summer Mersinger, and Caroline Pham are among the leading contenders for the CFTC chair. Now, this is incredible to me. Listen, I happen to endorse Perry Ann Boring because she is a friend of mine. Shout out to her and her husband, Court. They're amazing. And I hope that she gets this if she wants it. Because I'm going to tell you, she's worked very hard for over 10 years making the Digital Chamber the kind of organization that can get 290 plus congressmen up on Capitol Hill right now, because that's the count. And imagine the work she could do for crypto. And remember, submitted amicus brief for the Ripple SEC case in support of it. Remember, supported the writing of Giancarlo on XRP is not a security back in the day. That was unpopular, but they both stood there and backed that. Remember, I interviewed Perry Ann Boring on my show here, and she's called publicly for Inspector General investigation from the SEC of Bill Hinman personally and his actions. This is the kind of person we need in these agencies that understand this space so well. And they also understand how to navigate in the political climate. Cody Carbone, the president of the Digital Chamber, thanking Patrick McHenry, who's in his final run before he retires, for your leadership in advancing bipartisan digital asset policies, no doubt about it. The Digital Chamber submitted a letter at today's Financial Committee hearing highlighting the bipartisan crypto work and issues bills that must be addressed in the 119th Congress. See, this is the kind of work that's getting done all the time. We got our head down in the Ripple XRP camp. They got their head down on Capitol Hill, getting everything done for everyone. And that's what we need, that kind of leadership, and Cody's bringing it too. I'll be sitting down with Cody later today. I can't wait. Cody's amazing. Swift says this, you're going to love it. There's now just under 1 year to go until the end of MT ISO 20022 cross-border coexistence period for payments instructions. In other words, that whole transition is going to end, and everyone's over on ISO 20022. That standardization is going to allow for that rich data messaging. Remember, ISO 20022 has been around for more than a decade. So they've decided to use this to build out and create standardization amongst payments. And this allows them to integrate digital assets coded into that messaging data so they can now bring the real value transfer with that data messaging too. So huge, huge, huge stuff happening here. And it's closer to, momentum builds closer to the November 25 deadline. So just a little under 1 year from now, it's over. And Swift will be able to code and do the digital assets if they so choose, whether they do 100% of it, phase in 5% at a time. I don't know what they do. But what I do know is we're not going back the other way, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what else I know? Is that this screams the biggest word you're going to want to hold on to, utility. Because that's the next era and wave of this moment we're in, of this transition to a new digital economy. It is utility and interoperability that will be the winners of the day. And they won't have these charts dictated to them anymore because we've never seen what utility can do to these assets before in the way of price. New York Department of Financial Services is anticipated to give the official approval of the Ripple stablecoin RLUSD. The traditional finance sector is ready for it. And yesterday we're going out of the gate. No, actually bring that back. They were supposed to launch yesterday, and that's totally cool. But obviously they want to make sure that everything is right before they come out. You know, you don't want to get out in front of your skis, right? You don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, as they say. They want things to be right, and we know that Ripple has always operated within compliance and always make sure that everything is together first before you step out. So that's exactly what they're doing. Hey, we waited this long. We can wait another day or two. It's coming. And look at these numbers here. Shout out to Michael Arrington here. Ripple's XRP saw trading volumes of 7.5 billion and 6.3 billion over the past 2 days, equating to 50% of the total daily trading volume of the Korean stock market, typically around 14 billion. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's dominance has fallen to 54.3%, its lowest level since April in 24. After the Ripple XRP surge, let me get this over again, the market rotation shows no sign of slowing down. The XRP rally stands out as one of the most extraordinary developments in the crypto market this year. A $20 billion market cap asset skyrocketing 5 times in under a month. This explosive move followed XRP's USD Tether breakout from a long-term triangle pattern catalyzed by the U.S. election. There's no question. And I have said that the United States itself, when they introduce their market infrastructure into this digital economy, they will be the catalyst for this takeoff. And they will represent the real beginning of this bull cycle. And not a bull run, a bull cycle, a bull market that'll last 5 years plus. Because that's really what we're headed into. Why? Because utility will rule the day. Interoperability will rule the day. Because once legislation is passed so the financial system doesn't have to sit with their hands underneath their fanny on the bench, they can get out here and start using it, and just wait until you see what they do with these things, because they won't be confused about any of it. Which brings us quickly to this. This document proposes using real USD, Ripple's USD peg stablecoin, as a strategy to boost XRP's price by enabling banks or institutions to make large, stable purchases of XRP. This approach reduces transaction volatility, allowing for clearing of lower price sell orders on exchanges, which could lead to a rapid increase in XRP's price as higher price levels become the new baseline. Let's get into this really quickly here. A lot of this reminds me loosely of the Shane Ellis theory, which was when institutions are ready, they would come to the exchanges that we use as retail investors and start buying up the loose liquidity off of each of the exchanges to the necessary order book size that they want. So they would buy out all the buy and sell walls up to $20 if they want, or $100 if they want. And if you do that on all exchanges, very quickly you could send the price of XRP to a level that they need it to. This much says the same thing, but incorporates the use of RLUSD to do it seamlessly. Instead of banks and institutions using fiat, as we know, they could use RLUSD, which eliminates volatility, clearing the order book. Banks or institutions use real USD to place large buy orders for XRP on exchanges. As XRP is bought, the cheaper sell orders are exhausted, forcing the price to jump to the next available level in the order books. This is exactly what I explained to you. This can lead to rapid price increases as the order book liquidity for XRP at lower levels is quickly consumed. Feedback loop. With real USD facilitating these large transactions, the process is faster and more efficient than using traditional fiat pairs like USD to XRP. As the price of XRP rises, institutions may still find it worthwhile to continue using XRP due to its cost-saving advantages for payments. An example scenario: initial setup, a bank deposits $1 billion into real USD. Real USD is held in a Ripple-supported wallet or exchange ready for use. Step 2, buying XRP. The bank uses real USD to buy XRP on an exchange. Let's assume that the XRP order book looks like this: 100,000 XRP at 50 cents, 50,000 XRP at $1, 20,000 XRP at $5. The bank's $1 billion buy orders clears all the 50 cents, all the dollars, and starts buying into the $5 range. You see how quickly it could stair-step the price when institutions come in to buy this. Now, institutions could come in for different reasons. They could come in because they're market participants and they want to use it and have it to be able to participate in the network. Or maybe they're a market maker, and not only do they participate in the market, but they also make markets for other participants. So they want to hold a lot of XRP so they never run out because they're making markets for others all day long. Or you could have speculators. Speculators are retail investors and others and traders, right? This is how you get a healthy market, ladies and gentlemen. And then you think about the ETFs and the people who are starting ETFs who have to buy this up in order to have a qualified custodian hold it all for their clients. Or the automated market makers and the amount of it that gets locked up the higher the price goes. So then the returns really start to make sense. You know, this is exactly what we're talking about and how you can buy out the exchanges in the loose liquidity to where the only people that are left to sell it are the stubborn people like me and you. That's what we're looking at here. Yeah. And very quickly, we know Paul Atkins has been a Securitize board member since 2019. Securitize co-founder and CEO Carlos Domingo was a speaker at the most recent Ripple Swell event. And as you can see in the video, they were discussing tokenization and potential partnership they have with Ripple, which they do. And I'll say, make it quickly.
In late 2017, that was like one of the first wave of excitement about tokenization. Crypto was very small when I started the company. It was like a 20 billion industry. Now it's a 2 trillion industry. So when blockchain started, I just felt like this should be the same technology layer should be applied to regulated instruments to make them easier to transact, easier to trade, and easier to purchase. So here at Swell, we just had a panel focused on tokenization. What are the kind of asset classes that we think are going to be likely to be tokenized next? Today, treasuries obviously is the largest category. We've been having a relationship with Ripple for many years, so.
And there you have it. Shout out to Carlos. He's a great guy. I've had a chance to interview him at DC Blockchain with the Digital Chamber, and a wonderful guy, and all the success he deserves, every bit of it. This is Carlos Domingo on Yahoo Finance discussing the impact of Paul Atkinson, and it's all positive. So for the sake of time, I'm going to keep moving. Again, here is what's really fun. See anyone you recognize? Shout out to Mr. BXRP for grabbing this photo. Yeah. Paul Atkinson on Securitize board. Yeah. And then we have, who is it? Yeah. James Wallace, ladies and gentlemen, from Ripple, head of XRP Central Bank Engagement on Securitize's board. That's all it is. Nobody, it's nothing big. And this is Matthew Lemurl, who's also on the board, and listen to him.
I'm assuming that the audience wants to know what are the key so whats. And the key so what is that global institutional adoption is tracking much faster than you would think. If you read the press, you would think blockchain and crypto is people that have created things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they're building DeFi and NFT platforms and other things. And you would believe, if you read the press, that the big asset managers don't need it and aren't involved. They are. Of the top 50, 52% of them, that's more than half.
We got that laugh, Matthew. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. The global adoption, institutional adoption is on its way, and it's already begun, truthfully. We need that legislation so we can find out the application of utility with all these assets, and then we will see things happen on the charts, I believe, that cannot be predicted until that moment takes place. Eggrag Crypto gives us a quick update on the 4-hour time frame. He says, my DMs are flooded with questions about the best entry price. Therefore, I will zoom into the 1-hour time frame for a closer look. He said, but let me say this loud and clear on the macro level. I'm still bullish AF. You know what that means. We're just getting started. He said, I reminded lots of the DMs, you had 7 years to enter. But hey, I'm here to help. So here's my take on the best entry points. Now is a great time to buy, he says. Just buy and hold. This is an easy 5 or 10x opportunity. You know what that means? A 10x opportunity is $25. $20 to $25 here based on the price. Many still don't realize we're early in this cycle. We've got time until mid-March 2025 or even longer if the cycle extends. In that case, Wave 5 cycle top could land in Q4 of 25. So $2 mark right now, he says go heavy. $1.60, $1.70 zone. If we get a rounding top pullback, this could be a golden entry. Smelling poo phase around $1.20. I'll rotate all profits back into XRP for the next massive leg up. That's how confident he is. Here's the twist. The rounding top often breaks upward, making it one of the most bullish patterns. So don't be surprised if we blast past 350 and 380 sooner than expected. XRP family, stay steady and strong. The $6, $8 range is etched in stone. But mid-double digits is my target. Do not forget to dollar sell average and trust the process. Well, you know what? It's not financial advice from me or him or anyone else. It's just our digital perspectives, and we're going into the freedom zone right now, and you're going to want to come with us, ladies and gentlemen. We got something for you to see today. Now, we covered the other day what's in the flu shot, and today we're going to cover what's in the CV shot. You're going to want to see this. I hope you'll join us. Go to digitalperspectives.com, click the Freedom Zone. And by the way, I'm going to share what tokens I'm holding also in this video on the Freedom Zone. So make sure you join us inside. I'm going to lay it out for you. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. All right, welcome back. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into this.